There are machines that arrive at just the right moment. Machines that feel like they stepped through a doorway the rest of the world had not yet noticed. They appear with a mix of confidence and restraint, hinting at capability without resorting to spectacle. They invite curiosity because something about their proportions and purpose feels unusually resolved. You do not need to know their name to sense the intent behind every mechanical choice. The harmony of power, control, and engineering clarity tells its own story. In this episode, we dive into one of those pivotal creations, a machine that signaled a turning point in how high performance could be approached for riders who demand precision and balance. Whether you connect with the era, the engineering, or the ongoing legacy that followed, this journey offers a chance to look closely at why certain designs endure long after the spec sheets fade. If you enjoy deep dives like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment the next topic you want to explore. In this segment, I take a long, close look at the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 as a key step in the line of big sport machines that shaped a new view of how power, feel, and form can act as one idea. This bike sits in a time in which the need to link high top end with calm low and mid-drive was at the core of what made a road ride feel sure and in tune with the rider. And in this long talk, I try to show how that idea took shape in the frame, the tune, and the aim of the FZR layout. At its core, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was a tool built to let a rider tap into a wide bank of force with no big jump or lag. The way the intake, the cam set, and the load path in the head were set up let the Big Four run with a kind of soft rise that made the ride feel less like a hard pull and more like a long, smooth wave of drive. The plan of the FZR line at that time was to pull tech from the top-tier track kit. Yet the way the 1989 plan came to life did not try to act like a pure track tool. It tried to be a bike a rider could live with in the real day-to-day pace. And that mix let it stand out in a time in which many big bikes felt like they had to show pure top-end pace at all costs. The intake valve act gear in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 had a way to shift gas flow so the run from idle to mid felt flat and calm. With a wide use band in place, the bike let the rider use gear and pace in a far more free way. And this was key in a time when many Big Four machines were made for a high-rev hit that could feel a bit too firm on a tight and slim back road. The frame on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was aimed to hold the bike stiff in high load yet not pass too much buzz to the rider. The main rail set was done to guide load from the head to the swing pivot with no odd bend. And in this, the bike felt like it had a clear spine that let each turn rest on a firm base. When a rider set the FZR into a long lean, the link of the fork, wheel, and frame kept the line neat. The bike did not dart in or out in a rude way, and this was one more sign of the long work that went into the plan. At that time, a rival might give more raw hit, but the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 gave a far more calm and set feel in the mid-lean, and that was a huge part of why many who rode both chose the more calm, more all-day type of ride the FZR gave. The seat, peg set, and bar reach on this bike sat the rider in a way that put more calm load on the hip and arm. This made long runs far more kind. And for many who had to deal with a day-to-day run to work or a long trip out to open land, the fit of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 felt like a new take on how a big sport tool could act in life. In the time this bike came out, the key talk in the big bike scene was how to deal with heat, mass, and the push for ever more pickup. The FZR team went in a path that tried to give pace yet not flood the rider with too much heat or spin. And in the end, the mass and heat path on the 1989 plan let it feel far more in tune with a user who had to deal with real-life air, road, and stop time. When you look at the intake and tune map in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989, you see a plan to let the bike hold a flat line of pull. The carb and the sync set were done to help the Big Four keep pace in a clean way, and as a rider you felt this as a kind of calm push that held on and did not jump. The wheelbase of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was a bit long, yet this let the bike keep calm when the pace went up. It did not wag or shake in a way that took time to fix, and this let riders feel safe when the road got rough or the wind hit with a high gust. The fork on the bike held a nice mix of firm and soft. In a small bump run it had give, yet in a high lean it kept the line clear. The rear shock in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was set to keep the tail neat and the line true. The bike did not hop or skip in a bad way. The wheel and tire set gave a good link with the road. The mass at each end was held low to keep the steer light. The sum of all this gave the rider a feel of one unit that did not pick a fight with the hand or hip. The look of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 had a sharp nose with a fairing that cut the air with a clean arc. The side had neat lines that let air pass by the hot parts and cool the Big Four. The tail was slim and kept the flow tight. The paint and trim fit the time yet still look nice now. The dash on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was clear and neat. It told the rider what they had to know in a clean way. The tank shape let the rider grip well in a lean. The pegs had good grip. All this might seem small, yet each part of the fit and form added to a ride that felt neat and sure in the hand. In the late stage of the 80s, the need for a big bike that had both pace and real-life use was a main talk in the bike world. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 fit that neat in a way that was not too loud or bold, yet the real ride feel was more wise and full. You could sit on the bike for a long run, yet when the time came to pass a line of cars, the pull was there in a clean way. You could take it to a slim back road and it would move with you in a way that did not ask too much. You could take it on a long trip and feel fine at the end. In all this, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 held a kind of charm that made it a bit ahead of its time. In the tech and fit of the bike, you see that the team took time to make sure the bike was not just fast but good to use. The frame was stiff yet not too stiff. The tune was wide yet not dull. The size was big yet not too heavy. The plan was clear. The role of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 in the big bike line was to show that a machine can be fast yet still kind in daily life. It gave a path for how to link track tech with road sense. It is a bike that still holds a place in the mind of many who love the mix of real-life use and high-end pace. In this long look at how the bike was made and why it felt so good to ride, the main aim is to show that a bike can be more than a spec sheet. A bike can be a sum of good sense, good feel, and good plan. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 is one of those bikes. The way it came to be, and the way it still feels to ride, show that tech and form can work as one neat unit. I find that the more you look at the bike, the more you see how each part had a role in the big plan. And that is the main reason it still stands out in the long line of big sport machines. In this segment, I look at the deeper tech aims inside the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 as a way to show why this bike felt so firm in its place in the big sport scene. The key is to see how each part of the plan fit with the next, and how the team used both track learnings and real road sense to guide a bike that could deal with long runs, tight bends, and high load in a calm and sure way. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 sat in a time when big fours had to deal with heat, mass, and the need to give a wide arc of drive without a harsh jump. The team took on this task with a mix of frame shape, tune path, and airflow care that gave the bike a full and calm push. The headwork in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 let the big four breathe in a clean and even way. The ports were set to keep gas speed high at mid-rev so the bike had good pull long before the top end, and this made the ride feel more sure in a back road curve. With the carb set tuned to hold sync under high load, the bike kept a neat run in high heat. The fuel path was set to avoid harsh dips. The intake valve act gear in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989, known for its aim to shift gas flow in a neat arc, made the ride feel smooth. The torque band stayed wide and even in a way that gave the bike more grace in real-life use. The frame was a main part of the plan. The rail set on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 used a large beam plan to keep mass down and stiffness up, so the bike held a clean line in high lean. When the rider set into a long bend, the load ran straight from the head to the swing pivot with no odd flex, and that gave the bike a calm and sure feel. The fork on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was set to give a firm yet soft start. In low bumps it'd give, yet in a long lean it kept the line stiff. The tail shock had the same vibe with a link path that let the wheel track neat. The tire and wheel set gave good grip. The mass was held low so steer feel stayed light. The brake set on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 had large rotors and a firm pad for a clean stop. The pedal and lever path had a smooth arc. The way the brakes were tuned let the rider slow with calm bite. No hard grab, no odd pulse in the hand. When a rider set the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 into a set of tight bends, the light steer and firm mid-frame kept each line neat. The bike did not fall in too fast nor drift wide. It held the path in a kind way. The look of the FZR line in 1989 had a slim nose that cut air. The fairing had a clean vent path to guide flow to the hot zone. The side vents pulled hot air out so the big four held its temp in high load. The tank shape on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 let the rider grip with the knee in a lean. The seat was just firm enough to give a link to the frame but not so firm as to tire the rider in a long run. The ergo set the rider in a calm reach. The bar angle kept wrist load mild. The peg drop let the legs sit in a nice arc. With this fit, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 felt like a bike built for long days. The rider could hold pace for hours. The build of the engine used a strong case set. The gearbox had a neat match to the torque arc. The shift path felt light. In high revs the big four kept smooth. The mount path in the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 used soft blocks to hold buzz down. The rad set on the bike kept temps in check. The airflow was neat. The fan had a clean start. With all this in place, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 held its cool even in slow town runs. In the drivetrain, the chain and sprocket set had a nice match. The rear wheel sat firm in the swing arm slot so chain sag stayed true. The rider felt each twist of the grip as a calm and wide push. No harsh hit, no odd dip. The bike moved with a sense of one unit, the frame, fork, and will all felt like one line. At the time, a rival might try to show off pure high rev pace, yet the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 took the path of full band use. The mid-pull was strong and made the bike feel fast in real life. With the tank size, the bike had good range. With the seat, it had good comfort. For long trips, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 held a neat path. In town, the clutch was light. The bike did not feel too tall. The bars had a good sweep. On back roads, the steer gave the rider a light hand. The bike did not fight the lean. On open roads, the long wheelbase kept the bike sure at pace. The side stand and center stand on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 were built to take real use. The mount points were firm. The tail light and headlamp had good output. At night, the B-mark was clean. The wiring set was laid out in a neat way. The fuse box sat in a spot that was easy to reach. The toolkit in the bike held what one might need for a small road fix. The bolts and fasteners did not feel cheap. The bike had a sense of care in each part. In a time when many big bikes were made to win spec sheet hype, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 used ComSense and SoundPlan to give a ride that felt neat and whole. Its role in the big bike line was to show that you can have pace without harsh hit. You can have a stiff frame that still feels kind. You can have real-life use with a high-end tune. The more one looks at the Yamaha FZR1000 1989, the more one sees the way each part fits the next. The bike stands as a link point in big bike tech, a point where frame, tune, and feel all came in line. It is a bike built on a clear idea and a long set of tests, and for many riders then and now, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 still holds a deep place in the heart of big sport machines. In this segment, I turn to the long arc of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 and look at how this bike shaped its own path in the minds of riders, tech fans, and those who study the slow climb of ideas across time. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 is more than a set of parts. It is a point in the line where real-life use and high-end tune met in a clear way that told the whole scene that a big sport machine could bring ComSense to high-load tasks. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 came at a time when the push for speed had begun to bend the idea of what made a bike fun for most riders. Many felt that a large 4 was at risk of being too harsh or too tall in its aim, and this left a gap for a machine that could show a new path based on a deep blend of tech and feel. When a rider took the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 out for a long run, the bike did not ask for high skill at all times. The bike gave a wide area of safe use and let the rider enjoy the road scenery, the pace, and the sense of calm in the frame. As years went by, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 became a kind of guide to what made a strong design feel timeless. The frame held up to long use, the tune kept smooth, and the bike stayed kind to those who rode it. The lasting point is that the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 took the aims of high-end sport and turned them into a form that did not shout but still held a strong place in the heart of many. The main arc and the legacy of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 lies in how it acted as a calm step in the tech race. When the bike first rolled out, few knew how much its wide pull band and stiff beam frame would shape the next set of big sport bikes. Yet with time, riders found that the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 gave a sense of unity in the ride. It took rough patches in stride, kept a calm arc in high-load bends, and held a neat line at pace. The length of the wheelbase on the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 may have looked long on paper, but in real life it let the bike glow with calm strength on open roads. The rider felt a deep trust in the bike, and that sense of trust is one of the key signs that a machine has been made with care. The bike also found a home with those who like to tune their machines. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 had a case and headset that could take small changes with ease, and the strong build meant that one could alter small parts of the intake or exhaust without losing the calm bass feel that made the bike shine. As years passed, many who had once owned the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 began to look back on it with warm eyes. They spoke of the way it took them on long trips, how it felt neat in tight bends, and how it made the ride a kind of calm talk with the road. The bike became a symbol of a time when big sport machines were just starting to balance real-life needs with high-tech aims. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was at the front of that line. It is key to look at how the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 shaped the feel and reach of big sport bikes in the years to come. Many later machines took cues from the wide torque arc, the stiff beam frame, the fit of the ergos, and the way the fairing cut the air in a calm arc. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 did not need wild lines or bold claims. It let the ride speak. When one thinks of the best parts of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989, the notion of calm control comes up a lot. Even in high-load moves, the bike felt sure. This was due to the frame build, the shock tune, and the front fork feel. The rider could lean in, sit in the arc, and rise out with no harsh shift. In all this, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 proved that a big sport bike could make the complex feel simple. With time, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 found a place in the garage of many who kept it for long years. Its build let it age well. The paint held, the frame did not bend in odd ways, the engine kept smooth, and the parts were not too hard to find. The bike became a home base for riders who valued a clean, safe, and calm ride. As a classic, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 is loved for its sound, its even pull, its firm lean, and its kind ergos. Many who take a ride on a well-kept Yamaha FZR1000 1989 note how it feels more soft in hand than they had guessed. The bike holds its line but does not fight. The seat is firm yet kind. The tank shape lets the knee fit. The bars keep the wrist in a good arc. The bike feels like a friend. In the field of sport machines, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 stays known for its way of making the ride a calm set of moves linked by a wide arc of torque. It did not chase pure top-end brag, it gave what a rider needs in the real world. For many, that is the highest goal. The smart part of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 is that the team took each part of the bike and found a way to make it fit with the whole. The case was strong. The frame was neat. The intake was tuned. The shock was wise. The fairing was shaped. And in this, the bike became more than a sum of parts. It became a unified idea of what a big sport machine should be. As the bike aged, its role in the long arc of tech became more clear. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 was a step that pointed the way for many who came after. Even now, when riders look at the data for big sport bikes, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 stands out as one of the early bikes that made wideband torque and stiff beam frames the norm. A new rider might ask what makes the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 still hold a charm today. The answer lies in the calm trust the bike gives. You twist the grip and feel a smooth, wide wave of force. You lean and feel the frame sit firm. You ride for hours and feel fine. The lights shine bright. The brakes are sure. The engine note is warm. The bike feels like it knows the road. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 did not try to be a pure track tool. It tried to be a real-life sport machine. And in that aim, it found a sweet spot that still holds. When you step back and look at the whole arc of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989, you see a machine that took a bold idea and tuned it with care. It helps to know that the riders who bought this bike were not all high-end pros. Many were just folks who loved to ride and wanted a tool that made each trip feel neat and sure. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 gave that. It gave a safe base, a wide use band, and a feel of one unit in the hand. The rise in the value of well-kept Yamaha FZR1000 1989 units speaks to the long reach of its charm. Folks look for bikes that feel honest, safe, and full of life. The FZR line had many good machines, but the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 had a mix of parts that came to life in a way that stood the test of time. When kept in good tune, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 is a joy. It starts with ease. It runs smooth. It leans with grace. It stops with calm. It stays cool. It holds firm in wind. And it gives the rider a sense of calm at pace. That is what makes it a loved classic. With each year that goes by, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 gains more fans. Its mix of tech, feel, and real-life sense makes it a kind of guide for new riders who want to learn what makes a sport bike feel real and good. Many still ride these bikes on long trips. Many keep them in neat shape. Many pass them on to the next rider in the line. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 has earned its spot in the story of big sport machines by being the sort of bike that can still bring a smile to a rider even decades after it first took the road. It is the kind of bike that stays true to its aim and keeps its charm with time. And that long life in the hearts of riders is the key point of its legacy. As I bring this long look to a close, I want to step back and consider how the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 fits into the long sweep of sport machine history. The Yamaha FZR1000 1989 began as a clear step in a fast-changing time, yet its quiet strength came from a sense of balance that let riders feel safe, sure, and linked to the road in a way that few large machines of that era could match. When you look at the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 with a hindsight of today, the bike feels like a marker that shows how smart design can sit at the center of a complex field and still feel warm, calm, and full of life. It held a wide band of usable power, a stiff yet kind frame, and a set of ergos that made long days feel honest rather than harsh. Many machines chase hype, but the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 earned trust. The frame stayed true, the Big Four kept its smooth note, the fairing cut the air with care, and the whole bike held its shape in ways that make it feel timeless. That kind of long-term charm is rare. It tends to show up only in machines built with a real sense of purpose. A strong part of the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 legacy comes from the way it let riders feel like they were part of the bike rather than passengers on a rigid tool. It had a unity that flowed from the head to the swing pivot, through the tank, the seat, the bars, and into each turn. You could ride it in town without stress, take it on a long open road trip, or lean it into a set of tight bends, and in all of those moments the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 felt like it was there to help rather than demand. That sense of support is why riders still hold on to these machines, still tune them with care, still polish the fairing, still listen to the warm tone of the engine, and still talk with pride about how the bike made them feel capable. After all these years, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 stands as a guide for what a real-life sport machine can be. It is proof that high performance does not have to be harsh, that tech can be kind, and that a well-built frame paired with a wide torque band can give a sense of calm that lasts far beyond the first ride. For anyone who loves the blend of pace, feel, and road sense, the Yamaha FZR1000 1989 remains a bright spot in the long line of big sport machines. A machine that knew its aim, hit that aim with care, and left behind a legacy that still speaks to riders today.